Hi everybody, it's Julia, your trusted travel expert, helping you find that je ne sais quoi wherever you are in the world. And I am actually coming to you this week from the beautiful resort in Punta Cana from Club Med. And I've been here before and shared my thoughts about this resort with you, but I thought I would give you a quick kind of overview of the pros and cons as I see them for an all-inclusive vacation. Because a lot of people have a lot of preconceived notions, I think, about all-inclusive. Some people adore them. It's the only thing they do, and they just go all the time, and that's their big vacation. Some people would rather die than come to one, and it's definitely somewhere in the middle. And I just wanted to give you a picture of sort of, again, some of the benefits and some of the things that you may encounter or may not enjoy encountering. So one of the biggest benefits, it's super easy. You have basically no decisions to make. You leave your wallet at home, or I mean in the room, in the safe. It's super easy because everything's included. You do have to be careful with the resort and find out exactly what is included and make sure it is truly an all-inclusive experience. Because sometimes there'll be things like specialty alcohol might be extra, or maybe some of the activities on the resort might be extra. Spa treatments are almost always extra, things like that. It's a pretty relaxing thing because you don't have to make any decisions, and all of your activities are all in one place. I mean, I'm standing right by the adult-only beach. I can see the water sport activities directly in front of me. The main pool is over there, and right over there is the here they have this Creactive. It's their circus school kind of thing where you do trapezes and really cool stuff. You can see people running and walking by me. There's a running track around the entire resort. So it's all here. It's all in one place. Because it's all here and it's all in one place, it's also very safe. You don't have to worry at all really about safety. Security is very tight. In Dominican Republic, at least, the beach is private. So you don't have to worry about folks that aren't supposed to be here being here. So that's nice. That's not always the case. Lots of countries have it where the beaches aren't private. The beaches are just communal property, so that's something to be aware of as well. If you're traveling with a family, all-inclusive is great because childcare is usually, if not included, it may be a supplement, but it's definitely on spot. So you don't have to worry about, babysitters. Your kids can have fun activities to do with other kids, that kind of thing. That's another thing, whether you're traveling with a family or not. An all-inclusive is a great place to meet other people. You're in the same place for 4 or 5 days or a week, and you're going to start seeing the same sort of people that maybe arrived the same day as you. Maybe they're interested in some of the same activities as you. They're sitting across the way at dinner, so you may, it's a really easy way to meet people. You only have to unpack once. That kind of goes with the whole, it's easy, it's relaxing, you don't have to make any decisions. And that's kind of a lot of the really great things, besides the fact that they're often in beautiful locations like this one. Now, some of the cons, or some things that might be cons to you, since everything's included, that includes your alcohol, your food, all your activities, sometimes the cost up front will be a bigger pill to swallow, shall we say, than, the checkout bill. Sometimes the checkout bill is what is the bitter pill to swallow, but, the all-inclusive, you have to pay it all up front. So sometimes it's a larger cost to start, even though you don't pay anything after. They are usually large resorts with lots of people. If you go to a family resort, there are going to be lots of kids running around. So if you're not a fan of crowds and lots of people, that could be a con. But if you'll notice, this resort is actually completely full. And I mean, there's some people that you see, but it's not crowded. If the resort is well set up and spaced out, you're not going to have huge crowds of people that you have to deal with. Even at dinner, it can be a little crowded, but it's really not bad at all. Excuse me. So one of the other cons about an all-inclusive is because you're in one property and staying in one place, it can get a little samey day after day after day. So, I would recommend a shorter stay, 4 or 5 days rather than a week plus, just because, it's great and it's beautiful, but there's not a whole lot of variety. With that, that's one of the other cons, is there's really not a lot of variety. I mean, you can go from the pool to the beach to do different water activities, take an excursion, but, as far as restaurants, unless you go to a massive resort, you're only looking at, a couple of restaurants. The other thing about the food in an all-inclusive, because they're feeding usually a large number of people, it's always going to, almost always, going to be kind of pre-prepared or mass-produced food. I will say that the Club Med does buffets, and I think a lot of people do buffets. The Club Med buffets, which I've talked about before, are pretty nice. You get plated options, freshly cooked fish and meats and things like that. So I find it to be better than most options. But if you're a huge foodie, an all-inclusive is probably not going to be your favorite place. The other thing, and one of the biggest, I think, cons to an all-inclusive is the fact that you really don't get to know the country that you're in really at all. Because you never leave the resort. So you pretty much, I mean, I'm in the Dominican Republic, but I mean, and it's beautiful. I mean, you can see the ocean and you know, the palm grove or the coconut grove behind me. I mean, it is beautiful naturally. And the staff is largely Dominican. And, you know, they're lovely people, but that's all I'm seeing of Dominica. That's it. So, you know, this is not a culturally immersive experience at all. And that's the same whether you're in Jamaica, whether you're in Mexico, whether you're in, you know, any place that has a lot of all-inclusives is, you know, you're going to be around a lot of people the same as you. That's one of the things also I like about Club Med, because it's a French owned company. This is actually almost more culturally interesting than some of the other American tailored resorts, because everybody's French or European. Like, there's so many French people and European people, and the kids running around are speaking French. So what somebody said to me earlier, like, that makes it less annoying to me. So that's something to keep in mind for Club Meds. And just something to keep in mind. Another thing about, that could be a pro or it could be a con depending on how you feel, is, like I said, it's a great way to meet people, but if you really want to have complete privacy or complete alone time with your sweetheart or something like that, you know, yes, you can find quieter places, quieter corners. The adults only section here is really mellow and nice and lovely and quiet and pretty romantic, but you're never going to be totally on your own. There's always going to be some people around. So those are a few pros and cons to know about all-inclusive vacations. I've been honest about this. This is not my favorite way to travel, but if you just need a nice getaway to a tropical location, I mean, it's pretty nice. So those are some things to know. You definitely want to do some research on your resort before you go to make sure it fits your needs and has more of the pros than the cons for you. And that's it for this week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.